Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of the podcast. This week I am joined by the lovely Jane Taylor. Jane is a fine jeweler. She's actually an incredible jeweler. I'm going to embarrass her now, but she is. And she is based in Godalming in the UK, so not too far from us in Brighton. And she actually comes and teaches at Brighton as well. The students absolutely love having her there. But Jane also has her own workshop. She's got a showroom where she sells her jewelry in a boutique. So she makes and sells, and she also teaches in her workspace as well as in Brighton. So an all-rounder, really. And Jane is also going to be joining us as a mentor on the Fine Jewellery Diploma Programme, the Advanced Jewellery Diploma Programme this year, which is very exciting. So, wanted to invite Jane on the podcast to learn more about her story, her journey into jewelry making, what she does now, and keep us company while we're making. So, welcome, Jane. It's lovely to have you.
Oh, thank you, Jess.
Yeah, brilliant. So, you're joining from the workshop today, but
Yes.
you haven't always had your own workshop. So, we're going to start right back at the beginning of your jewelry making journey. When did it start for you? Did you make jewelry since you were a child, or did it come a bit later in life? What was
Um,
the start of your jewelry journey?
Basically, it was when I was a child. I think I must have been 8 or 9 years old, and I would make badges for my friends and take them to school. And obviously, I didn't want payment or anything. I just wanted them to wear whatever that I'd made, whatever I'd made for them, and they did. So that kind of carried on, but I was always quite artistic, and my mum is quite artistic. So we would create books of fashion and animals, and then it started to be jewellery and hats and adornment and things like that. And then as I got older, I started working with polymer clay, which was FIMO, and again, basically forcing all my family to wear whatever I'd made out of FIMO. And then I went on to a bit of beading until I went to college, and I did a jewellery GCSE, and I absolutely loved it. And
Wow.
I've still got some.
Yeah, I didn't even know they did GCSEs in jewelry. That's
Well,
amazing.
I don't think they do anymore. It was like the first year of GCSEs, and it was just a 1 year, and I added it to the A levels. But I actually basically ended up only doing our A level and this jewellery GCSE because I loved it so much.
Wonderful. Okay. So yeah, so you've always been making, you've always been entrepreneurial as well because you'd got the badges out, even though you didn't want money. You were, good at putting yourself out there, which is a
I
skill.
just wanted friends.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's connection, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah.
Wanting to share your craft with other people, which is lovely, I think. That's where the idea of like friendship bracelets and things come from, isn't it?
Yeah.
We make stuff and share it, and there's a connection there. So brilliant. Okay, so you did your GCSE and your A level art, and what happened next? Did you know that you wanted to start your own jewelry business, or did you go on to like a degree in jewelry, or did you have training?
So
Oh,
I did do a degree, but it was a little bit of a windy journey to get there because I knew I always wanted to set up my own business. So I found myself an apprenticeship, um, and they sent me to the Sir John, I don't think it exists anymore, Sir John Cass Faculty of Art and Design, and I did a day release there.
mm,
So it was more of a factory setting. So, my jobs would be if I soldered pins onto earrings, I would have to put about 200 earrings in the barrel polisher, and then I would have to solder 200 posts to the castings. So there was a lot of sort of it was almost mass production really, but it was really, really good for me technically, but I didn't like it. I
mm.
really enjoyed the days at the Faculty of Art and Design because it was very classically trained. So we even had to make an Archimedes drill,
Oh,
and
wow.
we had to make our own drill bit from a needle, and we had to get it. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it was fun and it was good, but it was also a little bit intimidating. But I did really like it, and I realised that I thought if I went back to college, I would learn a lot more. And what I found difficult about the apprenticeship was just the repetitiveness.
Mm.
Um, and I just had so many ideas in my head that I wanted to explore those more.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it, as a creative? Because we often go into this line of work because we are creative and we want to create things. But then, whether it's like an apprenticeship like you or in our own training at home, we have to practice things like boring things over and over again, like how to solder and how to polish and how to, do these tedious things. I mean,
Yeah,
yours is quite extreme because you had to do like 200, but a lot of bench jewelers end up in that positions, don't they, where you're sort of cleaning up loads of castings or yeah, soldering hundreds of rings. But you could probably do it in your sleep now. So
yeah. And I wouldn't, I still enjoyed it, but it was just the number of times. But this prompted me, so I'm afraid I felt a bit bad, but I only lasted 6 months in that apprenticeship. And then I went to it's now the University of Creative Arts in Farnham, and I did a degree in metals. And I was lucky enough to be able to, I did a bit of forge work. So I was able to work in the forge. We tried a little bit of ceramics and glass, but I realized it's definitely metals that I wanted to do. And then everything in the forge started getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So they said, have a go at jewellery. So I ended up specialising in jewellery, even though so some people went in the forge direction and went big. It was just like metals encompassed anything from silversmithing, small to huge. And I just, for the first time, absolutely loved my education. Um, and I really enjoyed everything I did. And I had the advantage that technically, because I'd done that half a year at the apprenticeship, I was really able to just get any ideas that I have. I was kind of able to really create them.
mm,
And we were lucky enough to have guest jewelers come in sometimes. So they would come in for a day and teach you how to make a setting for a ring. It was just brilliant. It was really exciting, and I really, really loved that.
yeah, yeah, in your element. And I suppose having gone through like the hard graft of an apprenticeship first almost probably made you enjoy it more because you had that discipline of the making, and then now you got to be creative and
Yeah.
training. And yeah, I totally get that. And so,
And I
sorry,
No,
go on.
go on. I was going to say, and I've still got my pieces
Yeah,
from my degree, and I'm still proud of them now,
yeah.
actually. And quite a lot of my work has kind of filtered down from those original ideas.
Mm, that's wonderful. And it's nice to have the time, isn't it, to dedicate to learning and making and developing your craft before having to go straight into like the commercial realities of running a business and or being part of someone else's business. So I think that's what I see as well in the diploma students is just having that space and the time to just be given projects or ideas or shown techniques, and then it's like off you go, make stuff. And I think as jewelers, that's all we want. We just
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it's so important, and like you say, so important to find a way to learn what you want to do, and learn the techniques that you want to learn. And moving forward, I mean, that's why I enjoy teaching now. But going back to uh, so when I did the degree, I then worked in the trade at a couple of jewelers for probably a couple of years for each one. And the first one was very traditional, and the goldsmith there were trained in Hatton Garden, and they were very technically able, and I enjoyed that. But then I left and went to work for another jeweler that was equally as good. He was completely and utterly self taught, which I found absolutely amazing. And sometimes, some of his things would go wrong, but he would just find a way to do it differently. And he was incredibly artistic and sculpture. He does a lot of sculpture now, actually. So I worked for two very different types of jewelers in the trade, which I think was also really good experience for me.
Yeah, definitely, because you have the kind of the discipline and the structure of the technical training, but then the creativity and perhaps a bit more relaxed approach of self-trained jewelers. And yeah, I think we all learn from all of our different teachers, don't
Yeah,
we? Things because you're never going to be the same as anyone else, but you pick up different things. That's what I like, learning from different teachers. I mean, I've never done an apprenticeship or a degree, but so many short courses, and everyone has a slightly different way of doing it. And And I love that because if you can try them all on for size, you can sort of find your own middle usually.
I think so. There's no right and, there's no right way and there's no wrong way. It's whatever you prefer.
Yeah.
So if you're shown both, you can choose what's right for you.
And when you were working for the jewelers, what was that like? Were you doing it sort of 5 days a week? Was it quite intense? Were you able to do any of your own work, or did you know that you'd like to run a business, but you were sort of not doing it for now and wanted to focus?
So I still had the aspiration to have my own business, but I really felt that I needed to feel prepared. I don't know. And one day I did feel prepared, but I knew when I felt prepared that I just needed to feel prepared. But in the meantime, I did do market stalls because each jeweler, it was full time, but each jeweler let me go in and use the bench on my day off.
Mhm.
So I could go into their workshop and make what I wanted to do. And I did market stalls in Guildford with a friend,
Mm.
probably for about a year, something like that. But then I ended up working, I didn't end up being able to do that quite so much when I was working full time. But it was at the second jewelers, really creative one, that I knew I was feeling ready to start my own business. And I was completely open with them and did say, I do want to do this. Um, but they didn't mind. There wasn't that sort of, it didn't matter.
Mm.
So I really enjoyed. Oh, actually, then, so when I left there, I found a jeweler's in Worthing that let me rent a bench for 6 weeks to make stuff for my shop. So I was doing that while I then found a premises for a tiny shop in Godalming High Street. And again, I learnt he's got Aurum in Worthing, and he'd been making jewellery. He's been making jewellery since the 70s. And I learned some amazing stuff from him, that really, really helped me. And he's kind of ended up being a bit of my mentor. So it's somebody that I can call, or because sometimes you do feel on your own or alone. And I can just call him. We can go over any technical issues, any things that I'm stuck on, or where'd you get this stone from? Or because there was so much when I started the business, I'd gathered a lot of information, but it never stops coming. New things never stop happening. And we're still in touch now, which is like over 20 years on.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful. Yeah, and it's lovely to have the progression of different people to learn from, and like you said, someone to check in with after starting your business and sort of. And I think a lot of the time it's just checking that you're doing it right, because you probably knew a lot already, but just like, oh, just checking, and and then they might have some good recommendations. And yeah, it's nice to find people open to sharing as well, isn't it? And who want to support the next generation of jewelers and.
yeah. He was definitely of that mindset.
Mm, brilliant. So you found your space and you've opened your
Yeah.
what's it like now for you? What's your kind of day to day as a jeweler? What's your world like now?
Well, my world is changing actually because so through lockdown I did move because I had a very, very small workshop.
Mm.
Um, I've been through the phases of employing people. I set up my business in 2001 and we had a recession, almost two, and I had my son, and all of those things made a difference. So it's not always, well, I don't know if it's ever easy, but there's been hard times, but I've clung on to it. And then through lockdown, I decided that after 20 years on the high street, I found I was buying more and more in. So I then moved 3 miles out of Godalming. So it's like on a little, um, it's called the Old Coal Yard, and there's an art gallery here, and there's lots of other creative people here. It's lovely. So my days changed. My days are changing at the moment, and it's kind of evolving a little bit. But I mean, do you mean from literally what I would come in and do for a day?
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, I have lots of different days. I obviously have the days where I come and teach at the Jewelers Academy in Brighton. I have 2 days where I have my own student comes out, and I really enjoy those days. because she's creating, and we had a great day yesterday, for example, because I get in, I set up the shop, I get everything ready for her, and then that's a day where I'm just helping her out with whatever she needs. But that's a day when I can get to work on my own
Mm.
designs and things. I had no custom. I tend to try and book customers in when I'm not teaching. So on a Tuesday, for example, when I'm open, I will come in and I will put all the jewellery out in the windows, check all my emails. Sometimes I can be on emails till lunchtime, and I have people pop in and out of the shop. Um, Obviously, ordering. I tend to, on a Monday, that's my get in and get organised day. Any material, I try to look ahead for any jobs that I've got because I'm still doing quite a lot of commissions.
Mm.
So Monday is an organising day, Tuesday is an open day, Wednesday is a student day, and then Thursday and Friday I'm often at the Jewellers Academy, and then Saturday is an open day when people can just come in and browse.
Mm.
So I feel it's pretty manic sometimes,
There's lots going
but
on. Yeah.
I got the luxury of, because I am my own boss, I've just, the only pressure is from myself.
Mm.
So sometimes I do have to check in and say to me, I've got to relax about it all a bit. But to be honest, I do like to be in control of everything. And sometimes when you get in and there's so much to do and you can be like a headless, you're running around like a headless chicken, I just pick what I want to do as opposed to something that I necessarily don't want to do. So even though my list is long, but if I can get in and just tick one of those things, and because it's something I want to do, that makes me feel happy.
Mm.
And sometimes I do, I even have the odd repairs for like my really good customers, and I can even enjoy those. I can enjoy everything sometimes,
Yeah. And
which
I
is a good thing.
Yeah, and it's nice that it's varied, isn't it? Because I think what you spoke about more towards the beginning that you didn't enjoy about the apprenticeship was that there was no variety. It was just the repetitiveness. Whereas you've really created, a career for yourself where you've got the shop, you've got students, you teach away from your workshop as well, and part of a big community. And then you're also working with your clients. And like you said, sometimes it can feel a lot because you're doing lots of things, but
I
also
know.
it can be
I take it on, I just, sometimes I don't say no.
yeah, yeah, but maybe that variety kind of helps.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it at the moment. I
Mm.
think when I moved here through lockdown, and my lovely partner, he sort of made me 5 beautiful workbenches, um, and set up the boutique for me. And it changed things because I didn't feel I had to buy anything in anymore. Because on the high street, people want a little gift for like 30 or £40, which is really hard to provide for if you're doing handmade jewellery.
Yeah.
So I kind of removed myself from the high street and then concentrated on, I did a lot of commission work for about 4 years. And then I think that's prompted the change to, I've always enjoyed the teaching, to do more of that and to do more of my own designs. So
Mm.
I'm just slowly evolving it at the moment, um, because I basically want to love every day.
Mm. Yeah, why
Um,
not? Why
yeah,
not? And I think that's part of the journey, isn't it, in jewelry making as well, is discovering who you are as a jeweler, like through all the training that you've done, and discovering what you want to do, and then gradually, like trying everything out, and then gradually let go of the things that don't serve you anymore. Whether it's, for some people, it's they don't enjoy doing repairs, or for other people, they wouldn't enjoy teaching, or for others, it's they don't want to make collections, they want to focus on commissions, or the other way around, like
yeah,
jewelers with every different preference. But like, it's almost such a freedom, like I can choose. Like
I know.
you took it
And,
on.
and I,
Choose.
I think so many jewelers take on everything at first, but sometimes you have to find out what you really enjoy.
Mm.
And sometimes you change your mind. It's just working through it and seeing what makes you happy, really.
Mm, absolutely. And you talked about the teaching and really enjoying that. What led you to teaching in the first place? Was it a natural progression, or how did
Um,
it out?
it was, I got approached by a local school, um, and actually asked if I would consider just a week for a student to do some work experience. So I absolutely loved that. I did that for a couple of years in a row, but I only had two benches, so I was fairly limited. And then that was sort of on the lead up to lockdown. And also, I had a friend that was very, very down. And I said to her one day, would you like to come in and make something? And she did. And she enjoyed it far more than she thought she would ever enjoy it. She'd never made anything before. And she actually said she went away feeling better, just for that time that she was in the workshop. She could forget everything. So then I thought it would be lovely to be able to offer jewellery experiences to people. So we found this place, and I still do the work experience for students, and I've got my own student now. So it kind of, over the course of like maybe 3 or 4 years, sort of led to the teaching. And one of the first students was my nephew,
Mhm.
and he now works full time. He's the only goldsmith at uh, a jeweller's in Cheltenham, and
Wow.
I pop there for a couple of days a month, just to anything that he's got any issues with or anything like that. So I enjoy that, because I go to see. I've only just started that, to go to see, what it's like to work within another jeweller's. So that's quite exciting. Um, and just because he's very, very good, but you know what it's like when nobody's there to tell you how good you are, you lose confidence. But I mean, he's brilliant. He's really talented, and he absolutely loves it.
That's
And
amazing. It's
and
amazing that you trained him as well and you passed that on and like, yeah, it
yeah,
feels
it
like
was that.
you're having a positive impact in so many different areas, from your friends to young people to training up family and obviously even more at Brighton as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
feel very rewarding.
I think the first thing he made was, I mean, I pierced his ear like with a needle, and then he made an earring for his ear, basically. That was one of the first projects that he absolutely loved. And then obviously when I met you at that talk at the Copper Club,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
and then did a bit of filming for the online jewellery courses. And then you opened Brighton, and I have to say, I found a new world and community, and it feels very rewarding to go there, and you know that every single person is just going to soak up everything that you're going to say that day, and what they can achieve when they're shown how to do, when jewelers are shown how the techniques that they can't find anywhere else. um, that's really rewarding, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And what are some of the classes you teach at Brighton? Just to share with anyone listening.
So I think one of my favorite is star and grain setting.
Yeah,
um,
that is a fan favorite for students as well. I've done that
yeah,
one too. It was awesome. Yeah.
yeah, I also I mean,
Stars.
there's a couple that I haven't done before that I enjoy. I like it if it's something different. So this Sunday is going to be tube setting and flush setting.
Mhm.
I've really enjoyed the collet setting, pair or round. Um, I'll have a go at teaching anything. But
Yeah.
the classes that I've done, I've absolutely loved. I enjoyed the exploring cabochons.
Mhm.
That was very good. Done that a
Mm.
couple of times.
Yeah, lots of stone setting, some wax as well. Do you do a claw setting in wax?
Yes, I do. I've taught the wax free, where you carve a solitaire, claw set solitaire out of wax, and you go away with the wax that you can get cast somewhere. That's been a very good class.
Mm. Yeah, lots of them. Like you said, lots of stone setting and a few other bits and pieces. But yeah, the students absolutely love learning from Jane because you have so much experience. I think all the things that you've done, you've learned from so many different people. And that's what's lovely about teaching is passing it on. And I know as a student when we're learning, if somebody shares something that's going to make it possible for you to make something in your head that you don't know how to make, it's an incredible feeling, isn't it? Just sort of be like, I've unlocked this new skill and now I can create so many more pieces. It's
Yeah.
really a gift. So yeah, wonderful. Well, you've achieved so much. What would you say is your proudest moment so far in your jewelry career?
Um, I feel a little bit like I'm feeling it now, or it's to come. I think I've just finished a few pieces and started a few pieces that are new, and I haven't had a chance to do any creating like that for the last probably 4 or 5 years.
Mm.
And I'm going to work towards like just having a little event for my clients at my boutique at some point. And I really want to like provide I imagine a whole showcase of completely new things, a couple of new collections, lots of one-off pieces, because as most jewelers, I think at whatever stage in your jewelry career that you are, you collect gems. I think that's you can't escape that.
I can't relate at all.
Um, so a lot of the time, the gems are my inspiration, and they will be one-off pieces. And then I'm just going to do I've got some really out there pieces that I'm going to do, and I'm kind of just beginning to see what I can do. And then the fact that I do that, and it's lovely to go and speak with other jewelers when I'm teaching. So I'm feeling sort of quite happy at the moment. And I do feel proud that I'm still here, because, there's been times where I thought the business wouldn't work.
Mm,
Um, there was actually a time when I first met my partner. We've been together about 12 years, and I was diagnosed with cancer.
mm,
Um, and I'm fine now, but
mm,
I didn't stop working because I didn't feel great. But I just think, because it's a creative thing to do, I would rather sit at the bench and do something that made me feel happy. And he moved in to be with me, and he was amazing. And the whole experience wasn't as horrendous as it could have been, I think.
mm.
Um,
You had your support and the creative outlet, and I guess
Absolutely. And
you made a decision that you were going to keep those things, even though
yeah,
it would have been easy to sort of feel maybe let them go or feel down, and I'm sure that that came as well. But yeah, it's amazing. I've heard quite a few jewelers share that jewelry has got them through very challenging times in their life, and it's there for you, you
it
know.
is. It's the creativity. I think it's quite powerful, actually. So,
Yeah. Oh, well, that sounds like a big achievement. And
yeah,
like
yeah,
you said, just getting to where you are, where you're content and you're happy with your working life, and it sounds like to me like you're making a huge contribution to lots of different people in different ways, and but also honoring what you want to do, which is, and I think when those two things come together, it feels great, when we're doing what we love and it's also
yeah.
helping others. That's a good place to be in. So I'm excited to see what's next for you, Jane. So finally, you're going to be mentoring on the advanced diploma this year, which we're very
Yes.
excited about. What are your thoughts about that? Because it's a slightly different way of working with students, isn't it? Are you excited to kind of meet them? They're also advanced students, which is a little bit different to what you generally would have in your workshop. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Yes. I'm excited to get started with it and to meet them. I've seen some of the projects that are on the advanced diploma. They look really exciting, but also quite challenging. So I look forward to being able to advise, because sometimes, if you're working remotely and you're on your own and something is coming up and it's challenging and you're struggling with it, because I can struggle with jobs sometimes. I don't think that ever goes away, because whatever level you get to, you always challenge yourself more.
Mhm.
And I look forward to being able to help people through that, if there's always a way. And sometimes you can lose a little bit of, you can't see that it's going to be okay, so telling people that they can, they are going to be able to do it. Any tips or tips that I can and help them with technically, And I'm looking forward to, I love seeing progression in people's work. I love seeing people, because I mean, if they're on that diploma, they're going to really want to learn and really want to make jewellery. And I just enjoy speaking with people that feel that passionately about jewellery.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I think you're going to love it, and I think they're going to love
I
you.
think I'm going to love it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how the first year goes. But yeah, brilliant. Well, do come if you're listening. You can obviously tell that Jane's amazing. Come and join us for a class
You're
at
too kind, Jess.
no, no, just the right amount of kind. Come and join us for a class at Brighton. And if you are in the area, come and visit Jane as well. So, Jane, if people want to come follow you on social media and come potentially come visit your boutique, where can they find out the information?
So I have a website which is jewelled.co.uk, and I'm also on all social media, probably most on Instagram, which is at jewelled Godalming.
Brilliant. We'll make sure we put the links in the show notes, and it's jeweled with an ed at the end, doesn't it, for the website?
Yes,
Jewelled.
yes.
Yeah, brilliant. So yeah, go give Jane a follow, say hi, congratulate her on her first podcast, and go and check her out if you can. And thanks so much, Jane. It's been wonderful to hear about your journey.
Oh, lovely to speak with you, Jess.
Yeah, as always, and I'm sure we will speak again. And I'll probably see you in Brighton soon.
Yeah, will
Yeah.
do. I'm there Sunday.
Oh, brilliant. I might not be there on Sunday, but I will be there soon for sure. All right. Thanks a lot. Take
Okay,
care, everyone.
thank you. Bye.